And let us know where you're joining from. And if you're a first timer, please do have first timer. And welcome everyone on the different platforms on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on IG. Hello to all my friends on IG. You are all welcome. All right. So, what are we talking about today? We have been going through this series that we call the Bliss and the Blisters of different things. We looked at the Bliss and the Blisters of being single, and last week the Bliss and the Blisters of the married. And this week we are looking at the Bliss and the Blisters of open relationships. Yes, open relationships. And we're going to be looking into the details of open relationships. We'll try to understand what do we mean by open relationships, or what is the open relationship concept? What is it about? What does it entail? What does it mean? Who is all? And so, okay, so we have it back. I give it behind. Go back on their platforms. No audio, so we're trying to deal with that. So if you can hear us, please type 111. If you can hear us, please type 111. And Debbie, I see you. So we're having a bit of trouble. Yeah, but that happens. I think this is the beautiful thing about IG. It's so simple and straightforward, especially with sound. Debbie says she can. Yes, she'll start 111. Thank you so much, Debbie. Fantastic. Ezekiel, I see you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's start this again. Good evening, everybody. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, depends on where you are and when you watch this program. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Anietie Bature, and this is Common for Relationships. You are welcome. You know, on this channel, we're bringing you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your life and in your relationships in particular. Very, very, very important. Today, we are continuing on the series, the Bliss and Blisters. The Bliss and Blisters. Hi, Joy. The Bliss and Blisters. Yes. We're looking at the Bliss and Blisters at different things. We looked at the Bliss and Blisters being single, the Bliss and Blisters of the married, and today we're looking at the Bliss and Blisters of open relationships. I'm going to try to understand what is this whole thing called open relationships. What is it about? What does it mean? What does it entail? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it not? Can it solve your problems or not? We're going to look at all those details I'm not going to be alone today. I'm going to have with me in the studio my husband Kingsley Bature and another guest Kingsley F1. So it will be an interesting time. So if you are joining us for the first time, please have an hashtag first time so that we can know and welcome you. And also let us know where you are joining us from. So before we proceed, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I encourage you to do so. You can not yet follow us on IG and Facebook. I also encourage you to do so, so that when we post on anything, you'll be one of the first to know. Yes, and thank you so much to everyone who joined us over the past week. I'm really happy to have you as part of the Common Sense family. Hello, Daddy, I see you. You are welcome. Good evening, and thank you so much for the background sound. Ezekiel also welcome, and Afro, I believe that's Afro. You're welcome. How are you? So let's do this. If you have heard of open relationships before, please just give me a thumbs up on any of the platforms. If you've heard of open relationships before, please I had a good thumbs up. I've heard of it. I know what it's about. Thumbs up. I have even been involved in the one before, maybe 2 or 3. Let's have idea. I would like to share about my open relationship. Assuming you have had one, please go ahead and tell us what I want to share, so we can share the link with you. Because we'd like to hear from you. In fact, there are some deep things to share on the subject. We'd like to hear it and consider it here on the show. Yes, we keep it real here, and we allow everyone the opportunity to share, especially when we feel we have something to share that can help others, something to share that can make this whole process easier for a lot of other people. Yes, we welcome this because they say experience is the best teacher. But it does not have to be your own experience. You can learn from the experiences of others, both their successes and their failures. And this is a wonderful platform. When I say this is, I mean Common Sense for Relationships Live show. It's a wonderful platform for you to learn from the experiences of others. So once again, you are welcome. It says, is it just me or is the sound actually very poor? No. So what that means? It says, great work you guys are doing here. I love it. Thank you so much, Lawrence. And Debbie confirms it is not just you. Okay, so we need to fix that and fix it fast. All hands on deck. Let's sort out the sound problem. Yes, so we have feedback from. Yes, you see how we are trying to solve the problem. We are solving the problem by blocking the view. He's just adding his 111 now. And please, I'll keep speaking, and at any point anyone hears me very clearly and we no longer have the sound challenge, please let me know so that we can get into the meat of the matter. But at the moment, I would just like to explore how has everyone's week been. You can say hi, hello, give me one word response to how your week has been. Exciting, challenging, how was last week, and yes, what you have to say about last week. So that if you want to watch like last week response for last week. I'd like to know.
actually asked me how I'm doing. So I'm doing great. It's the weekend, so taking it in and enjoying the weekend and yawning, right? I am trying to get myself ready for coming week because yes, it's a very you have to be charged and ready to fire. Because this is a great work you're doing here, ma. I'm really impressed. Always getting to learn new things. Thank you so much because I mean that's what makes us keep it going. Sometimes, when stuff happens, really thank you so much, Isabel. And Ibrahim said, I've had a fantastic. It was blister free. It made that such a great way to I really like how you write. Yes, I'm happy you had a blister free. So we're looking for a bliss for yes, so that's what we wish everyone would have. Yeah. So we come back in the coming days and the following month and that is where everything is started to get to. Let's say one whole thing will happen by the time we get to the end of this week. And say, I would like to do this, I would like to have done that, I would like to have accomplished this other thing. I know you put them down and you start working towards it. And all things that work in your favor, the grace of God, your handwork, your diligence, your collaboration, everything put together, you are able to achieve that by the end of the day. That's like, yes, blissful, mission accomplished, purpose fulfilled. That is my definition of blissful. I found the balance in this one I should have that how so I'll be ready to go now. Open religion. We have started and it's also just don't need to say what you had ready. Can't you say what I say? Let me open a couple of things. You are able to see what you had ready. That's the mistake I say. Let me check in. There you and check out. Oh yeah. See, I know that all of the challenge. Thank you so much, Peter. Those of you that at the 6:27 and that is also saying great okay, so that is you tell me at the beginning of the go ahead. But extra about open relation. What should I do? So everyone's get this way and then you look at the spirit. So that's why I'm talking about other things, right? That's still right? So basically, that we can ask you because you are this because say I can hear you now and clear or something of that sort. Okay. So that's all relation to something that I really it has not that's popular. I mean it's not like you can say open the project stands up and down. For some people they are just beginning to hear by that about the and for some people it's like what is that? And I can't even imagine it, right? And for other people it's like I can't feel. So that's the compartments of people think, oh, it makes sense. And they have their arguments and they are justification for why it's something to do or something to consider. In fact, there are some blogs that try to promote it as if it's something really bad that makes it right. And so we want to do that. you've not gotten any feedback from anybody about hearing me, so it seems all is still a challenge. Okay, anybody, let me do like Simba. Somebody, anybody, if you don't hear me, let me know. Any feedback? I want to learn. Oh my goodness. No. There's a funny song. So there's this artist. Her name is Shania. She has some really interesting and comical songs, but they're about love. And there's one that really makes me laugh. So she sings. She sings. If elephants could fly. Ephraim says, I think the sound is fairly okay right now. And OJ Lade, I can't really see that well, says, hello house. Okay, so can somebody hear me? Somebody hear me? Somebody hear me? Oh. Let me see. Okay, so we're good to go. Glory, hallelujah. It's time to go. So let's go. And I think I need to see the comments. Thank you very much. And here we go. So we're starting. That has been quite a challenging one, right? I mean, this one took a while. This is, let's see, 8:20 something. Okay, so let's make the most of the time we have left, everybody. And we'll start by defining open relationships. So I'll start by defining open relationships. And I saw this in the dictionary. It says open relationships, this is what it is: having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time. And again, having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time. Now, if I look at this, okay, and if you look at what we teach, what we encourage, what we promote on this channel, you would say this topic is for married couples only, right? Because on this channel, we promote waiting until you are married. Yes, we do that. And in the past, we have talked about the pros and cons of getting involved in premarital sex and so on and so forth. So if you want to find out a little more, you can check on some of our past videos on the subject. And I would like to invite my dear husband, Mr. Bature, to come at some point and sit down with us on set, because right now he is trying to do what, now I'll be singing, oh my commanding husband, he wants to control, he wants to control my life. He'll soon be here anyway, but I know, yes, he's trying to make this work, yeah. Okay, so open relationships. Having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time. That's open relationships. And that's the definition.
And like I was saying, this should actually be a topic for just married people, but then we know what the reality is. And to talk about that reality, I'm going to ask my guest on the show, number one guest, Kingsley. You are welcome once again. So please help me. Should this discussion be strictly for the married?
Okay, first of all, I would say it's nice coming back on the show.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes. The last time was a bit was quite good. Anyways, to answer your question, ideally it should be a discussion for the married.
Yes, ideally.
Yes, but in reality, the youth are also involved in literally almost everything the married are doing. If you want to be real, so since they're already doing it,
so let's just talk about it. Yes, thank you very much. So at least it's not from me. You heard it. You heard from somebody who is young and unmarried that it is an issue that concerns them as well. So open relationships. Hi Shola and hi Aesthetic and everybody that has joined us on IG. Thank you so much for joining us today. So yes, open relationships. Having more than one romantic or sexual partner at a time. Does this sound cool to you? What would you say? Let's hear your which perspective do you want to give? Personal or representative perspective?
Okay. Personal perspective, it doesn't sit well.
Okay.
Okay. Personal. But generally would involve a lot of perspective, right? It is different depending on the person.
And you need to project.
Okay, it's different depending on the person. So there are people who are very comfortable with the open relationship thing. I mean, I have seen and I have heard.
Wow.
Yes. They are very okay. In fact, it's like a comfort zone. Yes. So generally it differs depending on the person.
Okay. All right. Now, one of the things that, or should I say, things to characterize this kind of relationship is that both parties, the people involved, right? So at the core, you have like two people at the core, just assume. And these two people decide we are going to have an open relationship. So they agree that they will not be exclusive, right? They agree that they're not going to be, in quote, monogamous, that they are going to have other partners. So you have two people at the core, right? But then it may end up that you have more than one core, right? Because if you're opening it up, then the other party is coming to the party. So you have the two people who first said we're going to have an open relationship. So let's say they are number 1 and 2. And then number 2 goes and meets 2A. So you now have 2 and 2A who have an agreement that they are not going to have a monogamous relationship. So now you have another core, right? And so one and 2 are feeling like we are the main people, and then we have some others, right? But 2A may be feeling that it is him and 2 that are the real people and the others. And then 2A has 2B. So 2A and 2B are thinking they are the core. You have it. Okay. Then 1 has 1A. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of people, in my opinion, who probably are deceiving themselves, feeling that they are like it's about us and then we have others. Do you see the likelihood for that?
Okay, before I even answer that, let me clear the air about the whole concept of an open relationship. An open relationship, essential. It is not open if there is no honesty involved in it.
Honesty, gang.
If there is no honesty involved, then it is cheating.
Okay.
Do you understand? The whole concept of open relationship hangs on honesty. I mean, that's why it's called an open relationship. But let me explain.
Okay.
So brother A and sister B comes together and say, "Hey, see."
I think at this point you should leave brother and sister out of it. They don't go together. Just remove brother,
right?
Mr. and
Miss comes together and be like, "I like you. She also says, I like you.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to be in a relationship. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be an open relationship.
Okay.
They both agree. Now, an open relationship operates on different levels,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the rules and regulation attached to it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So there are open relationships that be like, hey, listen, we're in a relationship, but that shouldn't tell you that we can go as well and be in a relationship with other people.
Mm.
Do you understand? But there are restrictions.
Mm.
Do you get me?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the restriction, yeah, the boundaries and all that.
And let me ask the restrictions and the boundaries. Who sets them?
They both come to an agreement. They both agree to it.
Okay, so that means that if Mr. Like I was saying, if 1 and 2 have an agreement, they have an agreement for 2 of them.
They have an agreement.
The agreement that 2 and 2A will have, will it be the same one, or will they define their own agreement?
So the way it is, the way I've seen it happens, whenever you are coming into this, there are open relationships whereby whenever 2B or 2A, the other
2 and 2B.
Whenever they are coming into the relationship, they come with the understanding that there is an existing rule applied to this guy.
Okay.
Do you understand? So when you are coming in, you know that these are the rules, these are the rules. This person agrees that you can be part of us. This person agrees that you can be part of us. So it's an open relationship. Everybody sees what's happening.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand.
I understand. So now, so that means that it's like you have the main people, from what you're saying. You have the main people who are like the people who set the rules.
Yes.
And then the other people that are coming into the relationship are like follow come. And like, I am just an attachment to this relationship. I am an appendage to this relationship. I am just I'm like a leech or like a tick. I have just latched on to this part, and I'll be sucking the juice I can until such a time as they consider me a pest and decide to use pesticide.
Like I said, different levels.
I understand, but you know, if that's the case, and you have these 2 people are the primary, and every other person is secondary, doesn't that make the people who are secondary feel less in that relationship?
Well, yes, it should make them feel less, but it is still based on individualism
and what they agree to.
And what they agree to. What they agree to and what they are open to. I've seen situations where the woman is married to 2 husbands. They all stay in the same house. The husbands are allowed to have. Do you know? It's just crazy. Like, trust me, it's crazy.
Okay.
That guy doesn't sit well with me, but it's with a lot of people.
Okay, so let's look more in detail. So one of the things that we have here is the argument. The argument that one person cannot meet all your needs, emotional or sexual. And that's what a lot of people say is their reason or their basis for going to do an open relationship. That I come on, humans are so complex. We have so many needs and so on and so forth. And so for that reason, they say that it is needed for you to have an open relationship so that my need 1 will be met by number 1. My need 2 will be met by number 2. My need 3 will be met by number 3. What do you have to say about this?
So, like I said, personally, I am not open to the idea of an open relationship.
Yes.
To speak to that, the first problem is when humans try to make decisions out of their emotion. Because at the end of the day, your emotions are not something you bank on. Do you understand? But then the problem now is that people want to make decisions out of their feelings. Okay, so that's why they come up with reasons like the human emotion is a complex one. They come up with different reasons. Oh, no one person can meet all my emotional needs. So why don't I have brother A who makes me laugh, brother Bill who puts me on the serious part,
Mm-hmm.
brother C who does this, and brother D who does that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I'm cool and I'm fine. Remember, I said when we were doing the previous
Single.
one, single,
Mm-hmm.
that the concept of relationship is now very complex. So people are looking for alternatives.
Yes.
Yeah, some people are looking for alternatives to satisfy their selfish emotional needs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So they come up with different concepts.
Mhm.
One of them is this, actually, and I'm glad we're talking about it.
Mm.
One of them is this, that, oh, and this person you're saying is the most popular one. No one person can meet my need. So let me get this person. Let me get that person. But then the problem is when you make decisions based on your emotions,
Mhm.
you can never be satisfied.
Interesting. Wow. So why would you say yes? Why would you say you can't be satisfied when you make decisions based on your emotions? What do you have any? Do you want to open that up? A bit?
No. Okay, so the thing is, these are
Mhm.
emotions are not reliable. Let's start with that. They are not reliable.
Mhm.
Okay, we have different types of emotions. You are angry today.
Mhm.
You are not angry the next minute. You are not angry for the rest of your life. Are you?
No.
You are not sad for the rest of your life. Are
No.
you? It comes and goes. Do you understand? So why would you make life decisions on something that is not reliable, something that is not steady?
So more like making a lasting
Exactly.
decision based on something that is fleeting.
Exactly.
Mm.
So that's why I said it doesn't
Okay.
make sense.
All right, great. So let's take some of the comments, and please, I'd like us to scroll up so we can see. I think we have one from Ephraim earlier, and let's put it up. Thank you very much. So Ephraim says, for me, open relationship is a no option for me. Don't just like it. Okay, Emmanuel, thank you so much for sharing that. Emmanuel doesn't like it. It's a no for him. Ephraim says, from what has been said so far, it means the primary parties would need to have very high levels of honesty and trust in each other. They have to be able to communicate well with each other too. Ephraim, thank you for saying that communicate well with each other too. We will get to that subject of communication. King says, I don't know how many people manage to have, I don't know how people manage to have two or more partners. Like there are so many things to be scared about. Yes, King. And we're going to look at those things that you should be scared about if you say you want to do an open relationship. Ruth says people have different opinions, but myself, I don't like it, please. It's more like a stupid joke to me. No matter the excuse or honesty or sincerity or whatever. That's what Ruth says. Thank you so much, Ruth, for that straight talk. Debbie says it has become a global phenomenon. Thank you, Debbie. You know, actually, like I said earlier, there are blogs that promote this, that push it as an option, that try to tell you, even if you don't like the idea right now or you're not familiar with it, don't worry, you'll get used to it, or it's something worth considering. But, you know, we're looking at it here. Let's tear it apart, right? Let's get down to the details. If you are for, go ahead and make your case for it. If you are against it, go ahead and make your case against it. And let's talk about it. Kingsley Bat says, and that is my darling husband Kingsley, he says, I was shocked to find that open relationships exist even in Nigeria. I thought it was just an Oyibo thing.
Sadly, it is not. Sadly, it is not.
Interesting. Okay, so let's look at this, right? The first thing I'd like to say, which is more like it's like a challenge to anyone who is saying, I want to do an open relationship. What are you really looking for when you say, I am this kind of person and nobody can satisfy all my needs? So the question is, how well? So there are two things to look at. How well did you do your homework when you were looking for a life partner, right? Because if you are talking about someone who is married, I am expecting that you should have done your due diligence to look for someone that will meet most of your needs, and that the ones that they don't meet are things that you can live without. And that the ones that maybe at a point they don't meet, you should be able to communicate with them so that you guys work it out and get to the point where those needs are either met completely or met partially, right? So if you have done that homework, then you should be able to stay with one person. Now, for people who you say are single and maybe have defined it at different levels, you can go out with different people. In this context, what open relationship means, there is sex involved. So that's what I'm talking about. So you say I'm not getting married to you yet, but let's just do shy. Let's just be having sex all over the place, because really that's what you're saying. And maybe you intend to at some point get married. Is it that they are finding it difficult to communicate, number one, in which case you found somebody but you don't know how to communicate your needs to them? Is it that you are too lazy to do the job, the hard work of searching and filtering and screening different prospects to identify the one who can meet your needs? Why would anybody say, I have needs, this person only needs? How do you check to see if the person can do all before you start jumping around? What do you think? Do you think this thing is really a one person cannot meet my needs, or is the case of I can't even communicate well, I am not doing a good job at communicating?
So I see it as more of everything, depending on the individual. But if we are going to attack this down to the nitty-gritty, I would say is a personality problem. Okay. It's a personality problem. A lot of people battle with self-esteem. Do you understand? If you want to solve this, let's go down to the basics. A lot of people have problems with low self-esteem. They feel like I feel that way extension person. They feel like not everybody. Okay, maybe let me back it up a bit. Not everybody can. They probably have experience over time that has made them feel like, why would I want to put all my eggs in one basket? Let's start with the communication part.
So that's another argument, right? To trying to be safe. So you want, so like if one person sends you breakfast, in quotes, you can just move on to the others or something. Okay.
Now the communication problem also goes beyond me not being able to communicate my feelings to the next person. It also involves the next person not hearing me well. Do you understand? I can be communicating A, the next person is hearing B.
Yeah, but ideally, when something like that happens, when you can see that communication isn't working with this person, I am doing all that I can to get my message across, but they're not hearing me, they're not feeling me, they're not getting me, we're not vibing, we're not on the same level. Ideally, that should make you say, yeah, he's a nice person, he looks cool and all that, but we don't work, we don't click. So I move on. That's how it should be, ideally.
So that's the thing. So you move on to the next person. You find out that there's still the same problem. One of the biggest issues we have in this generation is that we are not ready to look inwards to find the problem. We easily push the responsibility to the next person. So you find somebody who has a communication problem. He tries to communicate to his first partner. He has a partner, and maybe the person is not hearing him well. He breaks up, moves to the next person. Does anything. You just look at it and be like,
am I the problem?
Am I the problem? Maybe I am not communicating well enough. Or these guys are not just understanding me. Let me take a step back and work on myself. So that's from the communication angle. So it differs.
You know, there's another thing I want to look at, which is self-control. Self-control and self-discipline. So for instance, you can't say I want to eat everything and so I must eat everything. Even if everything is available. What is likely going to happen to you? Constipation, or you have a running tummy or some kind of issue with your tummy because you did not exercise self-control, right? And it's a challenge that children have more because at that point they haven't mastered the art, they haven't built the stamina to say, yes, all this food is here, amazing, but I know I can only eat this and that for the sake of my tummy. So the same thing, you say, I want everything, or I have all these needs and I want it to be satisfied completely, and one person can't do it. So let me go ahead and go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So there's the issue of self-control, right? Is it this looks like a scenario where people should actually look before I say, is my desire for an open relationship an indication that I have a problem with self-control, I have a problem with self-discipline, I have a problem with communication? It's something to look at when you get to the point where you say, I want an open relationship. Because really, look, if you say all my needs cannot be met, okay, check other things, other needs in your life. Is every single other need that you have met? So like everybody wants to have more money. So the fact that you couldn't get all the money you wanted, did you go and steal? Do you understand? And so on. So I think it also brings you back to values, integrity. I would like to have $1 million. I do not have $1 million. Do I say all my needs are not met and so I'm going to go and rob a bank? If I don't have any values, I can do that, right? But if I have values and I say no, one of the things that is a value for me is integrity, honesty, or whatever. So, and these things do not permit that I go and steal, then I will not steal. So we come back to, it looks like this is telling us life really is about choices. Life is about decisions. What am I going to do? Even if, yes, I have a large appetite for all and sundry, what am I going to do if I feel I'm not getting everything I want? What's going to be my approach to try to address that challenge?
So I will support you in this one. I'll support you because in reality, people, they say that human wants is insatiable. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, the thing is, people are not ready to put a knife under their throat, which speaks to
Self-control.
Do you understand? If you want to give in to every need, every desire you have, you are definitely going to hit. You are going to hit you are going to hit the rock. Do you understand? Like you said, you take this take that, it turns out to be running so much. So people are not ready to discipline themselves enough to say, hey, this is the boundary. This is my limit. Do you understand? Have standards, have values for yourself.
Yeah.
When you see that, so people are just open to anything. Any emotions that come in, someone just sit down and have this idea that and I feel like just having this, I feel like having 2 or 3, but let me know what it feels like. Let me know.
And then you just jump in.
And then
I think the part about jumping in is something that people should really think about. Before you jump in, think, how far does this go? Where is this leading? What's going to be the consequence? How will it affect my life now, and how will it affect my life in the future? That's something people need to do.
Exactly.
Sometimes people don't think before they act, which is something you really should do. I know in the heat of the moment, you may feel like, this feels right, this feels good, the emotions and everything is wonderful. I want to just enjoy this. But before you go in to enjoy whatever, what is going to be the outcome? What is it going to do to you now? What effect will you have on your life in the future, and so on? We have a few comments that I would like to look at before we. Okay, yes, before we continue with the rest of the show. All right, but before we do that, we will have to take a break. So see you shortly. It's time for us to take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay. It's time for us to take a break, and we'll be right back. And if I say that one more time, then that will be the end of the break. It's time. And we are back. All right, so comment. I see. Hey, Pastor Rehoboth is with us today. Thank you. We are happy to have.
Are you searching for a life partner? Do you wish to have a relationship that actually works? Search no more. With the book Husband Material by Anietie Bature, a relationship coach and author, Husband Material promises clarity and direction on all the questions you have in this thing called love. With rich content from decades of real experiences and learnings, Husband Material Workbook provides an awesome read that will help make your relationship work. This is made possible with a step-by-step, hand-in-hand, frame-by-frame work with the author to leave out the lessons in the main book. You can place your order today on Linktree/Anietie Bature. The Linktree is spelled linktr.ee/Anietie Bature. Amazon Kindle, Paystar, Okada Books, Barnes & Nobles, and Raven Heights.
Okay, so we're back and we're taking our comments. We have one from, yes, we have one from King E. Let's see. I'm waiting for it to come up. Yes, King E says, I don't think I can handle or be in an open relationship, to be honest. How do people do things like that? And such can't lead to marriage, obviously. King E, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, it's a challenging situation and it can be quite confusing because who do you commit to in the end? So I see how you say it can't lead to marriage. Ruth said, but the reality is that some people have actually, from being married, decided to have an open relationship. And someone says, or one of the, a blogger somewhere mentioned that, hey, this is a difficult thing to consider if your relationship is already weak, if your marriage is already weak, if you already have issues, then you now come and add open relationship to it, you're probably going to end it. Okay, Ruth says, most decisions made with emotions attached are not always the best. So deciding on open relationships due to emotions, when the emotions are gone, it could be a mistake. Okay, that's what we just talked about before now. John Jerry says, I think open relationship is for protection. During dating, open relationship helps you not to be committed. It sounds like courtship, but in marriage is a different name. So open relationships when you are when you are not married, it's just you having multiple partners.
My question to that is, what are you protecting?
What are you protecting? Please, John Jerry, if you want, tell us what you're protecting.
What exactly?
Because well, maybe someone will say you're protecting your heart, but please, John, please feel free to let us know. Timora, let's see. Ephraim says, I believe in the right sense of an open relationship, right sense. The additional party doesn't become involved in the primary relationship at all compared to any type. I think it is called polyamorous.
So people are not buying the concept.
Thank you so much, Ephraim, for sharing. Okay, so one of the things I consider a blister in open relationships is the fact that you actually become, permit me to use these terms, unstable as the waters. And this is why I say it, because you talked about rules and boundaries that are defined by the people in the relationship. And while like I said, the first two people may feel we are the core, we are the center, but the other people, because you have not said it is only one partner, unless you're going to say it has to be only one person. Are you going to say the limit is 5 or the limit is 2? You know, each person can have 2 more. Or do you understand? Because the person you are joining to yourself, are you going to tell the person you must be fully committed to me when you are not fully committed to them? And if you're not fully committed to them, how do you prevent that person from bringing the extra person? Do you understand? So at the end of the day, you have multiple parties having multiple contracts, multiple conditions, terms, multiple boundaries, and so on that they have defined for their two, and their open. So what happens? You are involved with this one. We are supposed to go to Kano. With the other one, we are supposed to remain in Akwa Ibom State. What is going to happen? Do you understand? So you're pulled in this direction and that. This other person has a vision of let's live life, let's enjoy our money, let's spend it once we get it. And the other person is saying, let's build, let's conserve, let's. Do you understand? You have all these pulls, you're pulled left, right, and center. So for that reason, I say that if you go into an open relationship, you are actually going to introduce a lot of instability into your life, right? Because you are practically making yourself unstable as the waters just because there are so many people pulling you in different directions. So you have too many stakeholders, and if you are trying to impress all of them, you're being pulled in different directions. If you say I'm going to be true to one person, and then the other people can sort themselves out, you're going to have one relationship that is okay, and then tension on all the other places. So really, what are you looking for? Please, if somebody opposes the motion that I have just raised that you have instability when you do open relationship, please tell me what your view is.
Well, let's not totally write it on.
I think that's view.
Wait, let me welcome myself to the show. Okay, let me welcome myself to the show and let us stop this thing.
The way it is,
right?
Why are you leaning in that direction? I think you're very happy.
See, I hear what you're saying, and there was somebody that said somewhere in the comments that everybody chooses the relationship that is right for them. So I will wager that some people will take you up to say you are trying to impose the relationship that is right for you on every other person. So it is a case of live and let live. That's Ubuntu. Live and let live.
Exactly. And that is why.
So the person that is polyamorous, you know, I wish that person would that made that statement because I have a little experience with polyamorous relationship, part of my case study. You know, person that is polyamorous, right? What he is looking for may just be peace of mind. It may be friends with benefits, i.e., I don't have to worry about the commitment of the entanglement or the shackles that being committed to one person gives, but I can enjoy the benefits of several people without the entanglement of being tied to one person. So I'm getting I'm getting everything I want without having to give everything I am.
But that is completely, how should I put it? You know, when somebody, that's wishful thinking. Because everybody, whether you like it or not, comes with their bag of tricks plus their bag of rubbish. So whether you like it or not, you will have issues with each person. And you will have entanglements. You cannot expect that it's only this first partner who I wasn't completely satisfied with that is giving you trouble. And because of that, you now go to the other partners and you expect that the other partners will obey you 100%, do your bidding 100%. Never try something that is foreign or that you don't completely agree with. Do you understand? That will now bring about a need for people to like resolve an issue, solve a problem, come to a compromise and stuff. So you will end up replicating or multiplying the complexity in your life. Because with this one, you have wahala. This one will bring his own. This one will bring his own. And it's everywhere. So you have times 5 if you choose to have 5 people in your open relationship.
So I would support you now. This is true.
Okay.
Because when it has to do with just one human being is complex enough. One human being is complex. It's a lot of
complexity.
It's a complexity. Now let alone bringing in 1, 2, 3, 4. And the number continues. If you look at it critically, you will see that the negative outcome outweighs the positive. Well, why would you want to? Why would you wait now?
Okay.
Why would you not say that?
Let's read this comment from Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth, is it Ruth? Yeah, I think it's Ephraim. Ephraim says, I believe in the right sense of an open relationship, the additional party doesn't become involved in the primary or main relationship at all.
Right.
Compared to another type. I think it's called polyamorous relationship.
so-
So he's saying that in this, in his own right sense of the open relationship, you don't really have those complexities because you are in a main relationship with one person, and the other person is just offering something the relationship doesn't have. I'll give you an example, and this is from a married couple. They've been married for a while, but their marriage has gotten stale, right? As far there's no excitement, they are almost like roommates right now. Do you understand? So even the sex is not exciting. Do you understand? Because they've been together for such a while. Do you understand? And one person feels like I'm okay with this relationship the way it is going, but the other person feels like I'm not satisfied sexually, right? And he said, okay, can we have sex with other people? Do you understand? So that we are still in a marriage together, we are committed to each other, we love each other actually, but sex is just not working. So can I have another relationship that satisfies that need while we still stay in this our married relationship for all the other needs?
And then that is when you are assuming. So this is the funny part is how people can be so funny. How people can feel that when I enter this other relationship, that person will suspend all their needs and align 100% with my needs. All I am looking for is to get some excitement in sex, and the person will come and give me just that and go. Meanwhile, that person is also a human being that also has mind, brain, emotions, desires, and will say, if I am in this relationship, you give me something, I give you something. You get something, I get something. So it definitely is not going to be strictly about what you want. So conflict will come. You will have issues to resolve. The communication you were running away from, that you said, oh, I can't deal, it will take too much for me to try to communicate all that I'm looking for. Now you have to communicate there with that one and come and communicate with this new one. And it is going to bring about what? Complexity, instability, entanglement. Then somebody will now, in some cases, somebody will now get pregnant and we have to go and do paternity test to know who is the father. And then it now turns out the father is the one outside, not the one in the core relationship. Do we now bring him to come and live in the house with us because he says, I want to participate in the life of my child, even though I know that you are married to this other person, but I want to be there to watch him take his steps in life. When he starts walking, I want to be there. I want to be involved in changing diapers and everything. I want to be a present father. Were you planning for that?
No,
So wait.
Okay.
My point is, I think in open relationship two angles. Okay, there is the rules and regulations part of it. The rules and regulations attached to an open relationship.
Yeah.
There is the complexity of humans on the other. Do you understand? Now, if you read that comment
that
Ephraim, he says in the right sense. Yes. Now, there are no general accepted rules for open relationship. Okay, it is it is based on the people involved. Okay, there are open relationships that have the rule of, okay, for instance, let's use the example he gave to married people who are not satisfied sexually in the marriage. Okay, but they are saying, okay, let's try this. You go sleep with this person, you go sleep with. They probably will have a rule that says, okay, these are the terms and conditions for this.
Example, don't become emotionally involved.
That is where the complexity that comes.
After the oh, I really like this about you, and then emotional connection is built. Then it now becomes, oh, how do I let him know that I don't, you know? Because honestly, you cannot control unless the other person is a robot and you program it.
Or an AI.
If it's AI, it will teach itself.
It will teach itself.
It will still be a problem. So you have to look for a
Okay.
generation of robots that cannot be thinking by themselves. So if you have that, then maybe. But if it is a human being who has will, who has desires, who is like you,
Right.
that you could not stay in one place, then you expect person to stay in one place because of you.
So
Your
are we
marriage,
saying there's never been a case of a successful?
we are not, we're not saying let the people come and tell their story. The funny thing is that in a place where there are even boundaries, generally accepted rules and regulations, standards, expectations, there's wahala. Is it in the one where nothing is defined? So
it's well, I hear you, but I would look at some comments from
please look quickly because I have more.
You have more to say. Okay. Yes. Balancing multiple relationships can be time consuming and emotionally taxing, potentially detracting from the primary partnership. Part of the point you are making.
Thank you.
Okay, we're taking this. He says, so I don't see why people venture into it. If handling one is stressful, how much more juggling more than one?
Yes.
Yes, instability, right? Feelings of jealousy and insecurity can arise, potentially causing emotional turmoil and stress in the primary relationship. But he says, some argue that open relationship can, this is the part where I was coming from. Open relationship can strengthen the primary partnership, encouraging partners to appreciate each other more and by fostering open communication about desires and boundaries. So, question:
what are the statistics?
The statistics.
Yes, what are the statistics that open relationship has strengthened relationships generally?
Well, you have to go and do that.
Yeah. So until we have that, we cannot say
careful survey.
It's a good point, man. I like your point of view. The additional party or parties are human and will definitely have needs of their own.
Yes, exactly.
It's a open. I think I said open relationship is good, shall, but it creates room for unnecessary. Ephraim said, we are not advocates of open relationships, so let their problems stay with them. They wanted excitement now. Ephraim, you are a very strict guy. Mary says, ultimately, it's up to each individual to decide what type of relationship is right for them and to communicate their needs and boundaries clearly with their partners. So this is the part where I will bring in the concept, right? To say, something you guys have said through the course of the show, and I've listened and from the backside, and I've just listened to the fact that it seems like regular relationships have both written and unwritten rules. Now, this open relationship is almost as if the rules are defined by the parties involved. There are no generally accepted rules of open relationship, isn't it? So the rules are defined by the people inside. So that means if the open relationship will work, it is dependent on whether the people inside. So the question I'm really asking is, are you saying that open relationship can work depending on whether the people inside, clearly are able to follow the rules clearly? Or is it that it doesn't matter what rules they make, the open relationship may satisfy them to an extent, but ultimately has a collapse in the future, with a predictable collapse?
Some people could not follow the rules of the normal relationship. What are the odds that they will to follow the rules of the irregular relationship? That's a question. It's a question, though. So if you are normally a person who just wants to go with how I feel right now, and then you move into multiple relationships, and the way this person makes you feel is different from the way that person makes you feel, different from the way that person makes you feel. At the end of the day, won't you even be confused as an individual because you don't even know what to stand for again? This thing looks very simple, but it's very complex. It looks like something that will lead people to a very confusing future. Well, let me continue because today I am opposing the motion.
Wow.
So I am putting on my debate cap and I am bringing more points. So if you want to defend open relationship, please be bringing your points too.
Yes, hold on. Before you bring your opposition motion, King David said, let's keep an open mind discussing other people's opinion on this. Exactly. Thank you, David, because I am on the other side of the divide.
Yes,
of the your thinking position behind your thinking position. So, King David, please bring strong points to support me. on the panel. You understand? So that because I've given some points and they are trying to calculate. That's why I asked the question. So
because
Kingsley, please help your guy out. Help your guy.
I said if you oppose, whatever your view is, share your points here. And we are reading everybody's comments so that we can have an objective view on the subject, right? So please feel free. And I said also, if you feel so strongly and you want to come and talk live because you have plenty, just say it. The link will be shared with you. So something I'm thinking about this open relationship is the risk of breach of privacy. You know that there's a way that you get married to somebody and you know my information is safe with this person. My secret is safe with this person. My matter is within this marriage. It is the two of us. And you manage yourselves between the two of you. Now you bring a third party who is likely going to have a fourth party, who probably will have a fifth party. And you are no longer, it's like there's a back door that is open. What happens to your privacy? That is something that I feel people are not considering. What happens to your privacy? Your information. You know how people just tend to talk when they're in those moments? Because, you know, I feel that people who want to, like, I want to get to that guy. I can't reach him, but I need critical, crucial information from about him. I am going to go and pretend and date the fifth person on the queue, who will help me get information from number 4, from number 3, and eventually I have the information that I need to hurt or harm this person without even getting close. I just needed to connect myself in the chain that links back to the person. So look at it. What happens to your privacy? Look at it again. What happens to your resources? Imagine some rich dude thinking that I have my money, I'm taking care of myself and my wife, and you're thinking we are in this relationship together, we are the core. Then your wife falls in love with some other guy who is broke, but just knows how to satisfy her sexually. Remember, it's her needs. You are supplying money. This other person will supply sex, but the dude is broke. And then, because she loves him so much, because he meets her needs, she now decides to siphon some of your money to the broke guy, because she has to level him up so that he can look the part and everything. Did you sign up for that when you were going into the relationship? Well, is that the problem?
That one is cheating.
That would be a breach of contract.
No, that's cheating.
Yes.
The husband does not know. That's open relationship, the both of them knowing. Do you understand? The husband agrees, the wife agrees that okay, in this scenario, the woman is not getting sexual satisfaction. She comes and tells the husband, "Oga, you are not satisfying the session." The husband, on the other hand, agrees for whatever stupid reasons that okay, since I'm not satisfying, thou can go, but here are terms and conditions. Now, don't forget the fact that terms and conditions can be rigid. It can get to the point where it involves a lawyer. Okay, sign it.
Then about the daughter.
Yes. These are boundaries and limits of this. You understand? So it can be rigid.
So let me ask you a question. The people who are now signing with this particular lawyer that the terms and conditions are rigid, did they not also sign to be married? If they could not keep their original contract, why are you so sure that they will keep this other one?
David, please, if you're still there, please help the brother out. David, help the brother out. Uti said, I think open relationship is really a bad idea because it opens the room for bigger problems in the relationship. Queen Debbie said, how do people do this open relationship, especially if the person's A to Z is abroad?
Okay, all right. So we are quarter past the hour, and I'll just say these last ones. You still have to.
Yeah, sorry, quarter past the hour because of the technical difficulties
we had
at the beginning. Yeah. So you want to?
I just want to include in my final points on this, and I won't really have time to break it down, but I'll just say it. You still have to make time for each partner in that relationship. The way you fix meeting for your office activities and your business deals, how you have a calendar to set up meetings, open relationships advice, the people who speak to support it. Say you have to be meticulous enough to have a calendar to accommodate your multiple partners, so that you know when you're going to A's house, when you're going to B's house, which night you're spending in your own home with your spouse, and so on and so forth. So think about that and think of the complexity associated. Also, that you still require a lot of work to meet their own needs. Like I said, each person comes with a need, and you will have to deal with jealousy on a constant basis, more often than not, right? Because you now have multiple people, and each person, whether you like it or not, we are humans, will be thinking, who is the most important person to you? Is it me or him? And so on and so forth. And that is an ongoing conversation that you will be having. So if you have enough emotional stamina to withstand that, and if you have enough administrative will and the strength and all of that to be doing multiple locations, sleep here today, sleep there tomorrow, maintain wardrobes in different houses so that you don't forget your shoe in this place, and then you're stranded in the morning. If you can do all of that and you feel it's really worth it, yeah, maybe you can consider it. But my final note on the subject is that as a debater who is opposing the motion, that it is better for you to stick with your monogamous relationship. Do your due diligence there. All the stress of communicating with 5 people, use it to communicate with this one person and let them completely know what your needs are, and work together to achieve it fully, or at least to an extent that works for you.
Okay, so
thank you very much.
So with these few points of yours that you have given like this,
yes,
I'm thinking to myself that that I'm a bit distracted.
Yes, somebody please close the door. Thank you very much.
So what I was saying is, with these few points that you have given, I'm thinking to myself that this open relationship something, the people that are in monogamous relationship seem to have the point, but the people in monogamous relationship have not addressed the issue of what if the person in the relationship cannot provide that thing you are looking for. Just before you drop the mic, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
How you deal with that should not be an open relationship.
How you deal with that? We talked about the pre and the post. The pre being before you go and make a commitment to somebody and say, I'm marrying you. You have to do your due diligence. Don't just wake up and say, oh, I like this person. He feels awesome and so on. I'm getting into a relationship with him. I'm going to marry him, full stop. And then you go. No, you shouldn't do that. You should take time to get to know this person and check up front the things that are important to me, the things that are needs for me. Can this person meet them? So when you have struck off the most important, the crucial issues, the other things, look at it. Can I communicate this with this person well enough to be able to address other needs that we may not have been able to confirm before the marriage?
No,
right?
but you're
already. Yes, right now. So I'm talking from the pre and the post. The post is after you have gotten married, and you are now with this person, and you see that, hey, I have needs, this person is not meeting. What do I do? You now have to communicate to the person. These are the things that I need. Of course, but you know the best time to communicate things that are tough, the ideal time to communicate things that are sensitive, your approach and stuff like that. And if you feel you're not very good at communicating, you can easily take a course on communication and then come back armed with that skill. You can actually start to say, this is important to me, that is important to me. Sometimes you yourself, you need to go and level up. Like on the sex matter, some people think, oh, put a man and a woman in the room, sex happens, it is fine, and it's expected to be 100%. No, there's learning to be had. So you might need to go and learn so that you can communicate appropriately with your spouse, right? And then you people start to work together. What can we do today? Which gap? Identify the gap. Which one can we close today? Which one can we close next week? Let's work little by little until both of us come to a place where it's like coming to a compromise. You can't always have every single thing you want, but you can get near enough.
No, well, she's on fire today.
Yes,
she's on fire today. Well, to say my own part. Anyway, so from what I heard you say, you are saying that some of the things that people are saying they are not satisfied with in their relationship are things that they can either get more information, or they can see a therapist, or they can see a consultant, or they can see a coach. So for sex, even in sex, there are sex therapists, there are sex consultants.
Yes.
We have those in our network,
Yes.
right, that can help you.
So if you need help with that, please just reach out.
Yes. We will connect you. We have
Seasoned
seasoned professionals.
Yes.
That is the day job. That is what they do on a norm. I know some people, especially Christian people that watch this show. Actually, there's a school where you learn how to have good, sweet Christian sex.
This is the time where I give.
It's very simple. It's very simple. So, and he's not in an open relationship. He's in the middle. He's in the center of emotion. So we need to go.
Yes.
We need to go for our Zilly fans. The key word for today is Ubuntu. So find where it is on the video. Live and let live.
Yes.
Find where it is on the video, and that's the key word. But thank you. I want to thank those that hung in with us, even though we had technical difficulties. Like I say, some of these demons, they come after you have finished setup, because we set up everything. So when you just start streaming, they just enter the network online, and then they are trying to destroy something. But some of us are not moved. We will fish them out, and we will still let the show go on. That's how we build our consistency.
All right. So thank you so much, everybody,
next week
for being on the show today. Next week is Independence.
It's Independence.
Our Independence edition.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Yes.
We'll talk about the bliss and blister of being in Nigeria.
Thank you, sir.
The bliss and blisters of being in Nigeria. Yes.
We share this, share to people who will gain from this. And thank you so much for being part of the show today. And subscribe if you haven't done so. See you next time on Common Sense for Relationship. And remember, common sense
is not so common.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. If they are still there, please, they should not forget to share. They should not forget to like. They should not forget to subscribe. Please, they should. Someone should put it in the chat. Share, like.
Thank you once again for joining us. We hope you got great value today. Our goal is to bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your life and relationships. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, and like.